Hey, Colabcoaching again to share some wise words of wisdom for the week. Not really a series, but it's becoming a series. So, just to talk about myself a little bit more, about my business and the origin story of all of it. Like, I've been doing this for a couple years, so I felt like it was a good time to just sit down and tell the new people that's been watching and listening to me how did I get started and why do I do what I do. So, this question slash thought this week is, well, why am I a self-love relationship coach? Why am I a self-love relationship coach? And in my last video, I talked about how I went to coaching after I got my master's in counseling because I wanted to expand myself and I wanted to have more freedom in doing what I felt like was my purpose. Now, when I was doing my certification to be a professional coach, I was asked by my instructor, basically, well, what is your niche? What is the population you want to talk to? Who are you directing your messaging to? And who are you trying to be a coach for? Believe it or not, I wasn't actually a relationship coach and, in fact, a self-love coach when I initially started coaching. I actually wanted to be a grief coach, mainly because I've dealt with a lot of immediate deaths in my life, especially the death of my mother and my older brother when I was relatively young. And I had to go through a long journey of self-awareness and realization of who I am and how to move forward with the passing of immediate family members. And that's not just them, but there's also been aunts and uncles that passed away and so on and so forth, friends. And I had to go through that journey. I went through counseling. I spoke with a coach and all of these different avenues. Prayer, that was a big foundation in my life during that time of how to actually not get over the grief, but accept the grief and go through the stages of grief to be able to be the person I am today. So that's when I was like, okay, I want to be a grief coach. I want to be someone that helps people through grief and transition them to realizing the purpose of their lives and how important their lives are and how special they are. But once I got started with that, it didn't really resonate with me to the point that I was like happy and enthusiastic about it, because it is heavy. It's heavy at times, and don't get me wrong, grief counseling and grief coaching is important. Don't disregard that, and do reach out to a grief counselor or a grief coach if you are going through grief. But for me, I feel like it was a part of my life that I already have talked about and I already have went through, and I feel like it wasn't something that can be sustainable, especially in the future. So I was introduced to relationship coaching by a number of people, friends, colleagues, and basically just the idea of, hey, you are good at talking about relationships. Why don't you transition to coaching with relationships? And I was like, okay, well, that speaks to me, because I love to hear people talk. Hence why I went to school for counseling, and I love to problem solve with people. And I was like, okay, well, relationship coaching, that's it. That's it for me. But then you have to dig deeper. You have to dig a little bit deeper into the fact that, okay, what about relationships? There's a lot of things you could talk about relationships. Hence, that's why you see so many different topics that I talk about. You could talk about friends, family, co-workers, relationship with your significant other, relationship with your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, all that. But the one I felt was important to me was a relationship with myself. And that was something that I was currently dealing with during this coaching series of my life, of getting the certification and transitioning from the certification and getting it and starting a business. So I personally was struggling with that because I was a people pleaser. I was focused on making sure people were good. I was focused on seeing people were happy. What can I do to help change their mindset? And honestly, I just love to see people doing good. And I want to make sure that they can continue that process and continue that movement, transition into continue to live in a good life. But I realized that it was draining on me because I was giving all that energy to other people, and I wasn't feeding myself. I wasn't gaining the energy that I needed to recharge. I wasn't getting the energy that I needed to basically be the best person I could be, because I was so focused on other people. And that's when I wanted to take the time to emphasize on self-love. Now, self-love is such a more acceptable topic nowadays because of the fact that counseling and therapy is becoming more normalized in our society in the past decade. And focusing on how to better yourself is becoming something that people do on a daily basis with affirmations and spa days and self-care days and things of that nature, and that's beautiful. But the thing that I found that was not really spoken about or really expressed or really shared is, well, yeah, that's good for a day, but what about those days you don't have time to do that self-care? What about those days where you don't have the time that you feel like you need to care about yourself because you're focusing on your children, or you're focusing on your significant other or your family members, or some crisis just happened, some traumatic event that happened years ago is still in your head and still lingering? What do you do in those situations? That's what I had to realize. Like, okay, I know that I'm not where I want to be when I think about myself. I may look in the mirror and say, hey, I don't look handsome. I don't look attractive. I don't see myself as important or special or unique. Why? What's going on there? Who told me otherwise? Why don't I think about that myself? Where's my confidence level? All these different things were affecting me, and then I had to realize that, hey, I have some work to do. I have to go back to counseling. I have to go back to coaching. I have to go back to speaking to people. I have to go back to prayer. And I have to go back to realizing my self-worth. And when I went through that journey, I said, it was a long journey. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a long journey. And I said to myself, well, I wish I had someone who focused on self-love and was a coach and or counselor. And they were able to give me the blueprints, or able to help me along that journey to get to that point faster. And don't get me wrong, I cherish my journey and I cherish the events that happened, and it was all part of me. But I feel like if you know better, you could create an avenue to do better. So I was like, okay, if I can't find this person, let me be that person for other people. Let me start a business where it emphasizes strictly on self-love in relationships. Let me focus strictly on how to love yourself more, how to be a better person, how to care about yourself while caring for other people, how to highlight yourself so other people can realize your self-worth, so you don't take advantage of, so people don't mistreat you, so that people can see your value and to appreciate your value, to teach people your love languages and things of that nature, because that's so important. And that's the reason why I became a self-love relationship coach. So, to put it plainly, the reason why I became a self-love relationship coach is because I struggled with self-love most of my life. And it took me a long time through prayer, through coaching, through counseling, to love myself to the level that I am right now. But I thought to myself, I wish I had someone that focused strictly on self-love and to coach me in the right way to get there. So I decided, why not be that person? And that's why I became a self-love relationship coach, to help people get to the point where they can love themselves better and they have blueprints and strategies to get there. Not in the sense faster, but more efficiently. And that's why I started this business, and that's why I'm here today. So, to put it plainly, I'm a coach and I'm a relationship coach and I'm a self-love coach, and I want to help you. Go to my website, Colabcoaching.com. Sign up for that free 15-minute coaching session. We can talk about anything when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships. I'm here to help you. And then also fill out that relationship checklist to see exactly what are the things that you want to talk about, because sometimes it gets difficult. That's why I made that checklist, to pinpoint exactly what you want to talk about. And then also Facebook Collab Coaching, Instagram Collab Coaching, on my series and on my videos on YouTube, COLAB Coaching. That way you could see all the different strategies that I've done to talk about self-love and relationships and all that nature, all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and share this with anyone that's struggling to understand what it means to love themselves, and any help, I'm here to help them. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Bye.